right, guys. Hey guys, it's Melissa, everybody. How's everyone doing? So let me talk about pro-life stuff for a minute, and then I'll probably do another video about something else. But anyways, I told you all that I will be using Medicaid to look into what's available. Whew, it's sweaty outside. What's available? Very humid. I'm sweaty. It's very humid outside. What's available for classes with trauma? So I had an organization send me a link. I haven't had a chance to look at it with the last 2 days of work. So I've got today off, so I have plenty of time. I've got tomorrow off and the next day. And I will be looking at this class. It's online. So there are programs available online. I did look at, I did go with one about healing after abortion. There is a podcast that's available. I will link that below for anybody who just wants to talk about abortion. But what I'm looking for is something really specific. That's what I'm looking for, to really be specific, to address specific needs. So there's a lot now being offered online. You can go on there. You can go on Facebook. I'm connected to some people on Facebook with abortion care and all that. And although this happened so long ago, there are still, there's still stuff that comes up. Like, it's usually highway driving that really gets to me. Like, when I was working at a car dealership, I mean, it's weird because I was okay, and he was going like 110 miles an hour. And I'm like, could you slow down for me? I had to go pick up a car. Well, it ended up being the owner's truck in Massachusetts. And I had never driven, I forget what it was now, some kind of Blazer or something. I had never driven one of these before. And all I did was go up to the guy when I got there at the car dealership, and I'm like, look, I've never driven one of these before. And he's like, if you can't effing drive this thing, then don't even bother. And it really irritated me the way he talked to me. And so usually I'll use my anger for my benefit to motivate me, right? So I'm like, screw this guy. So I got in this Blazer thing in Massachusetts, and I've never driven down in Mass. I don't think I've ever driven in Mass. Took the keys and just drove back to the dealership because I was so ticked off at this guy. So anyways, then it didn't bother me. Highway, like riding in a vehicle, and it's not when I drive, it's only when I'm with somebody. I can still get panic attacks on the highway. So that's because I'm going through this, healing process. So sometimes we think, oh, abortion, yeah, I made a mistake. People will say, yeah, my parents made a mistake, and they made one mistake, and that's all it was. But no. When you go through an abortion, it is an answer to a underlying problem that is already there, right? It's not like, oh, I was a perfect parent and I made one mistake. It's like, no, there was something else there to cause somebody to want abortion. So when you go through the trauma class, I think it needs to be, there needs to be a broad range of different things. Like, for me, it's like, why in the world was I even dating this guy, right? I was only 15. I definitely was not ready for marriage. Let me think. I wasn't ready for marriage. They knew I was, having sex with him, and I was kind of pushed off like the trophy. I was like the trophy, and here, we're going to set you up with, I think it was more my mother, we're going to set you up with this guy, and we're going to marry you off, So a lot of times daughters are used by their mothers, and many times I was my mother's trophy, and my mother got it from my grandmother. So when I was with my grandmother, many times, rather than having a relationship, when we would go out for dinner, like we went to the old mill before in Epsom, they're not around anymore, but I had brought my grandmother some roses for Mother's Day, and she, and she always introduced me as, this is my first granddaughter. And, because I did look good more when I'm fine with how I look, but I was more in shape. I was younger, right? I was always the trophy. I was always the one to show off and be like, oh yeah, this is my first granddaughter, and, oh, she's so pretty, whatever. So a lot of times mothers use their daughters to get things in life. And I think we already know that, right? So we want to go deeper, and we want to be like, okay, what was happening around the abortion? Why was this even an option, right? What happened? So this company, this place, not company, but this nonprofit said, check out this link, check out the trauma class, let us know what you think. So I will be doing that today. And then I just got back home and I looked for a pair of pants for work. And I will be having a video about trying to find pants for work. And, yesterday was my second day at this job, and I have a very strict boss, very strict. And if you know the rules up front, for the most part, that's pretty good. I mean, it's just respect. It's like, she's like, I'm not letting you get away with anything. I don't let anyone get away with anything. And she's like, I'm going to be telling you everything you do wrong. And I mean, geez, my second day, all I am doing is I'm on the computer, right? So anyway, she's like, you seem responsible. So she wants me to be trained to close a restaurant and everything. So we'll see how this one goes. If anyone wants to leave comments below with my job situations and, give some advice, go right ahead. Yesterday I had some coworker, I wasn't even on the clock. And then once I got on the clock after I had my breakfast, she's like, you can take your cup too. And I'm like, what? She goes, you could take your glass and put it in the dish area too. And I'm like, put that boundary up right away, Melissa. You gotta show people respect right away. So I said to her, I said, I just left a $2 tip for the waitress, so why would I be taking my own glass? And she's like, well, if you left a $2 tip, it should be there. She should have got it. And I'm like, well, what I'm saying to you is I left a $2 tip. Therefore, why am I taking my glass? She should be taking my glass, right? If I'm paying her for this. So she didn't say anything, but she was extremely bossy. I didn't like how she talked to me. And so then I went up to the waitress and I said, hey, why am I being told to take my glass when, I paid you a $2 tip here as a coworker, right? Not even like, I didn't even have to do that. But I didn't say that. I said, I paid you a tip, so why am I doing this? And she's like, well, okay, do you want a refill? I'm like, yeah, I'd like a refill. And she goes, all right, I'll go put it in a to-go cup for you. And I'm thinking, are they getting rid of me already because I said something? So I was on the computer yesterday. The thing I do like about this is the training. The videos are really good so far. Every little thing they tell you what to do. They treat you as if you've never waitressed before. And they tell you, like, okay, this is what we want from the host. There is cross-training, so I'll be hosting too. This is what we want from the host. And I'm just watching, like, this video over and over and over. Like, not the same video, but tons of videos on just how to host. And I've hosted before, and I'm like, holy cow, this company really means business. You have to wear a smile. You have to do certain things. And it's a real good job description of what your role is. And so then I just went out, for breakfast, and I'm watching things, right? I'm watching, okay, how did the host greet us? How was the waitress? How was this? How was that? So, it's good to continue to, improve your skills, and that's what I'm doing. The only thing is I had to apply to another job too, because in case this one doesn't work out, because she had already had some inconsistencies with me. And I'm like, wait a minute, you just told me yesterday I could eat breakfast over here. And she's like, you said this table or this table I could eat at? And she goes, no, you're not eating here. She goes, you are not coming in anymore in the morning at all, early, on my own time to have breakfast. She's like, you are not coming in early because you're a liability to me. And she's like, because you work for me and you're out within a half hour. Everyone's out, not just me. Everyone's out within a half hour. You're not sticking around. So, I was like, fine, So that was one inconsistency. And then there was another one with You know, you're going to train on the computer today, and then I'm going to train you. This is the other day. Didn't happen. I was sent home after computer work. Yesterday, we're going to train you on the computer first. I didn't even get halfway done, and she's like, my labor, I have to watch my labor costs, so you need to leave. And so I'm like, okay, get a second job just in case this one doesn't work out. So I applied, but I'm like, all right, so I have to be alcohol certified over here. You have to actually have like a card that says you're alcohol certified. So I'm like, okay, so that is something I will probably have to do because I'm not going to limit my job opportunities over a card. So anyways, that's what I got going on, guys, and I will get back to you all and let you know after this, you know, what I think of this trauma course. Okay, thanks for joining me. And someone said you should leave like a Bible quote or something at the end of your video. I'll go peace. That's what I'll do. Peace. Peace for now. Peace, everybody.